I would like to go through quickly what I think of as the 5 most important lessons that you can have in communing with Source. As you approach Source, whether you call it prayer, meditation, as you approach Source, it is important for you to understand first and foremost, and this is one of the most difficult and most easily open to misinterpretation, as Abraham says, if there's nothing you can do about it, then it's not about you. Again, if there's nothing you can do about it, then it's not about you. Now, you watch the news, and an event that has already taken place, there's nothing you can do about it, is there? Then it's not about you. Now, the reason I say this, and I don't want you to misinterpret this, is this. Hawkins speaks over and over in Power versus Force about force always creating a counterforce. When you see an event take place that is a train being blown up and 197 people are killed in Spain, or yesterday 31 more people killed over there, 10 more soldiers over there the day before, people blowing themselves up, blowing their children up to make a when you see this kind of stuff, what does it make you feel? You feel bad, don't you? When you feel bad, you attract the energy of what it is that you are feeling. Like it or not, you will get whatever you think about, you will get. Whether you want it or not, you will get it. Whatever you're thinking about. So if you're thinking about how much you hate the people in the world who would do such despicable things, and you fill yourself with the same energy that they are sending to you, you have now magnified the amount of low energy in the world. It is incumbent upon you, if you're approaching Source, to say, I intend to feel good, meaning I intend to feel God at any moment. And if enough of us were to collectively reach that critical mass where we say, I refuse to be depressed, I refuse to be upset, I refuse to be in a state of anger and terror because there is that in the world. Instead, I intend to feel good. If enough of us do it and we reach a critical mass, they'll stop reporting it. The second of these, and I think this is probably the most important in terms of your own personal lives, is to remember that God, Source, cannot be anything other than what it is. It can't be what it isn't. Now, what is it? It is abundance. It is well-being. Let's just take those two. It's many other things. It's non-exclusion. Now you come to it with a thought that is not of God. That thought is, I have scarcity in my life. And that thought is, I have illness in my life. So now you get down on your knees and you say, please heal me of my illness. And you say, please send me my abundance, my money, whatever it is, because I've got scarcity. But now, this Source, which can only be what it is, how can it recognize what it isn't? Listen to these words from the Course. Because your idea is not of God, God does not respond to it. To respond to it would give it reality. If God were to respond to anything other than the idea of perfect oneness, there would no longer be perfect oneness. Does that make sense? So, you can't go to God and ask God, which is perfect abundance, to replace your scarcity because it doesn't know anything about scarcity. And you can't ask it to heal you because it knows nothing about illness, because it is nothing but well-being. All of our illnesses, all of them, are collectively from generations upon eons of egos that have convinced themselves that they're not living in a state of perfect health, regardless. And death is not even entered into it, because death is not a punishment. It's not even a reflection of illness. It is just all that composes, decomposes. And you just return, take off. Third, Source, and returning to Source, and gaining the power of the Source and the power of intention is not about learning something new. You're not going to get it here. You're not going to get it in books and tapes and so on. You might get some clues, but you're not going to get it that way. It's about remembering. It's about remembering. The ego is the part of you that's separated from Source and believes in its separation, and also believes in all that it owns and all that it does and all that its reputation reflects. But you must learn to remember. All of it is illusion. You have a choice of finding your way through the veils of forgetfulness back to where you belong. It's about remembering. When you're struggling, remember. When you're sick, remember you are well-being. And reach for a thought that is in harmony with well-being. Fourth, Source knows. Don't ever assume that Source forgets. Every dog, every cat, every raccoon, every rat, every animal that has fur on it, when winter comes, even before winter gets here, even when it's still fall and still summer, what happens to your horse and to your dog and to your cat and to your rat? What happens to their fur? It starts to what? It starts to expand and get stronger, doesn't it, and get thicker. Every one, it never forgets a rat. How could you ever assume it could forget you? It never forgets. It never forgets. Source always knows. Don't presume to tell it something or that it's forgotten. What you're going through, what struggles you're having, what's missing are all because you have aligned with that kind of thinking. And finally, when you approach Source, approach it with an awareness that it doesn't need you to love it. God doesn't need you to love God. God isn't worried, in my opinion, and I have the mic. God doesn't worry. God doesn't need you to love it, doesn't need you to build temples for it. God doesn't need you to chant to it. God doesn't need you to love God. God, I believe, Source, the way that you show your love for Source is by taking the love that you emanated from and loving each other. Share, give. Source is for giving. The way that you show your love for God is to extend that love that is God, that is you, everywhere.